The NES Classic Edition came out on the 11th, right before the NES charity marathon. And again, thank you if you donated or helped spread the word for the Children's Miracle Network. I have mine over here. So I was lucky enough to order mine I guess that Thursday night, midnight, before the 11th, they started getting released. I believe so. Or did I get a pre-order? I forget. I tweeted it out. But I was lucky to go on GameStop and order actually two. I ordered one for myself and one for a friend who I told them, you're going to want this. And they said, no, I'm not going to want it. And now after they saw it, they want it. Hold this conversation. So I was lucky enough to get an NES Classic Edition. And then I got like this sort of a combo pack where it was an NES Classic Edition, the Prima book, which I still have to look at, the not the certain NES guidebook, but the Nintendo official guide, and then an extra controller. And I did that because the extra controllers are impossible to find by themselves. If you think these are hard to find, the extra controllers have not been produced in mass quantities at all, and most stores aren't really carrying more than a couple. So I got the NES Classic Edition, and what are my thoughts? Well, it's about what I thought it was going to be, which is good. It's a great solution for, I'd say, 95% of people out there. Again, that's not you listening to the podcast or watching on YouTube, but it's a great solution if you want to play NES games, you have a modern TV, and you don't want the hassle of having to go online, find some ROM sites, find the ROMs you want to remember, how to get it, find an emulator, figure out how to play it, go online, buy a controller, figure out how to use that, and do all that. To me and you, who've been using emulators for like 20 years, yes, it's child's play. But pick an average 40-year-old off the street, a 60-year-old grandmother who has young kids she wants to share these games with. You don't want to deal with that bullshit. You just want a little HDMI compatible, no frills, works out of the box unit, and that's what this is. In terms of the build quality, it's cute, it's cuddly. I like the feel of the power buttons and the reset button, which I'll get into what that does in a second. The power button lights up. It has the 2 controller ports. It comes with the 1 controller. So yes, absolutely yes. It is way sad that the controller cord is only about 2.5 feet long. That said, though, you need to be close to your NES Classic Edition anyway to reset the game, the reset button is basically the menu button. So you need to be close to it no matter what, because there's no way to access it using the NES Classic controller. So the reset button will take you back to the main menu where you could save your game, load a save state, delete your save state, access the options, and most importantly, switch the game. Would have been nice if you can do that with a controller combination, like, I don't know, start, select A and B can get you back to the menu. That would have been cool, but as far as I know, there's no shortcut in the game for that. However, if you have the Wii Pro Classic controller, one of the various ones, either the one that looks like a PS4 controller or the one that is more just an oval, if it has a home button, the home button, thank God, acts as a reset button on the console to get you back to that main menu to do all the stuff you want to be able to do with that. So it looks beautiful. Make sure, obviously, that you set your LCD TV to game mode, cut down on lag, or whatever the mode. TVs will differ on what mode is the best latency. But I really did not notice that much lag, if at all, when I was playing my games. I'm going in order, since I probably will do a Pat the NES Punk video about it. Spoilers! But I'm up to like Final Fantasy or Ghosts and Goblins around there, so I've played about 8 or 9 games so far. But it's cool. You can even sort the games on the year they came out. So you get all those black box games first, and you can also sort by the 2-player games or by the publisher. So there's some cool little things I put in. And the 3 different viewing modes are nice. I recommend you stay with the regular 4:3. The pixel perfect, it's the squeezed, more square. I don't like that. And then the CRT mode will be cool just for a nostalgic factor, but you'll learn to love again the clean, digital sort of version, because that CRT view. Remember when you were a kid playing on that 26-inch TV, 12 feet back, you really didn't notice all that fuzziness and scale lines affecting the gameplay as much. And you didn't have a 60-inch TV where you could see that all blown up in your face and really affect you. So I recommend staying with the regular 4:3 viewing mode, and you should be fine. And again, in terms of the games, I went over it before. According to a certain NES guidebook, which I don't have around me, the average star rating for the 30 games, according to that, I believe was around 4 stars, I believe, or 4.25, something like that. So it's high up there. The vast majority of games are 4 stars, 4.5, or 5. Off the top of my head, the 5-star games on the system would be Kirby's Adventure, Legend of Zelda, the 3 Super Mario Brothers games are the 5-star games. I have to remember if there were any else. Legend of Zelda 2, Adventure of Link was 4.5. Tecmo Bowl was 4.5. And then there's the only weak ones, if you can call them that. I gave Ghosts and Goblins 3 stars, which is still better than average, but still not great. And then the only one below average, I gave Ice Climber 2 stars, that's what it is in the book, 2 stars below average, because I don't like it that much. And it's not too fun a game for me after a while. Other than that, though, it's a great selection. You have your Donkey Kong Jr., your Galaga, your Pac-Man if you want your old school games. You have your Final Fantasy if you want a good RPG. You got your Excite Bikes and stuff like that. Double Dragon 2, a great beat 'em up. This is all off the top of my head. I'm not running through all of them. But for, I'd say, 95% of that casual Walmart Target crowd, that's what you want. That's what you need. You don't really need that much more than that. You should be satisfied. Remember, this could be something that the casual audience might pick up and play for like a month and be sick of it. And so for that, $60 is worth it. That's a AAA title cost. And if you play it for a month and threw it away, I think that's worth the $60. There is enough going for it, though, in terms of replayability because of the save states. Because you have to find that second controller. If you're a casual person, you might not realize the Classic Pro controller works. I think might be something where you might end up going to like a house party with your older friends, and the same way that it was when the Wii came out. You remember back in 2007, 2008, even 2009? I do, because I moved here and remember going to cocktail parties with the upper crust or even semi-upper crust. I managed to weasel my way into there. Well, they were playing Wii bowling and Wii boxing at parties. Not saying this has the same potential, but it's in that ballpark where I can picture going to a cocktail party or a get-together that usually would be playing video games, and they might have this around and say, hey, let's put that in. Let's play Mike Tyson's Punch-Out. Oh, no, it's just regular Punch-Out. No one's going to know or care or even realize the difference at that party. They're going to play Glass Joe. They won't even get up to King Hippo, and they'll be fine with it. So that said, obviously, there's going to be issues getting these. Hopefully, it's ironed out next week or so. Walmart said at one point every day on their website at a certain time, I think it was like 2 p.m. Pacific, they're going to release some on their website every day that week, but they were still limited. Limited edition, people. You got your Punch-Outs. You got your Final Fantasies. And we'll throw in the Sammy Sofa. Sofa? The Sammy Sofa. God, I'm tired. That joke was ruined. Sammy Sosa. Rookie card. So, again, this is not for everyone. If you begin to say, just get a RetroPie, just get an emulator, Nintendo's not marketing this towards you, and this is not the reason why Nintendo's going to be printing money over the next, I'd say, 6 to 8 months, if not a year, selling these still. You're not the reason why. Realize that, and move on from it, and let everyone else who wants one get one. It's not for collectors necessarily, even though it's cute. And it's not for, someone who's been playing Nexticle since 1997, like me, necessarily. But I will say this. It's cool to have this around when people are over. You have a special friend. You have a girlfriend that comes over. It's a lot easier while you're watching, Netflix. Say, oh, let's play, Excite Bike for 5 minutes. And you switch it on real quickly. And then there you go. You have your Excite Bike. No euphemisms really needed there, or really didn't really mean to do that. Anyway, so that's the difference. You're not going to say, oh, let me get my FrameMeister going and hook in my NES, or let me find my mod Nintendo. Let's go to my game room to play. No, it's convenient. Convenient, people. Convenient. It'll be interesting to see if Nintendo will come out with more of these. I can picture them doing that at some point. Not just quantity, I mean putting out one with, 60 more games if they see how well this does. Maybe they'll paint it red or blue. I don't know. Either way, I like it. Go out and get your Classic Pro controller, and go out. Speaking of this, what Nintendo should have done, I'm actually less pissed about the 2.5-foot controller cord than I am with the 6-foot HDMI cable that they included. 6 to 8 feet, whatever it was. It wasn't that long. You can't do both because most people have their 50-inch TV or 60-inch LED TV on the wall, or it's 15 feet away. 8 plus 2.5, 6 plus 2.5 is 10 feet, less than 10 feet. Pat math. So that's not good enough. So please go out there and either buy a controller extension, which they have. I don't even recommend that because, again, you need the system close to you to hit that good old reset button. Excuse me. Go out and buy a 20-foot HDMI cable for like $5-6. They're on eBay. They're online. They work fine. You don't need a $180 monster cable. That's the biggest scam ever. Go out and buy your 15, 20-foot, 25-foot HDMI cable, and you're good to go. At that point, you're fine. And then go online and buy a $7 or $6 Classic Controller Pro for the second controller port. And again, you're good to go. You might end up using that more than the regular NES controller anyway, because again, it has that handy home button. So there you go. My quick review. I recommend it to a certain portion of the population. If you're listening to this podcast, you'll probably be 50-50 on getting it, or maybe leaning 60-40, but you'll still have people saying, Pat, I don't understand who this is for. If you have to ask that, you don't understand why Nintendo's going to make $1 billion with these little guys right here.